What's going on, YouTube? I'm back with another video. I know it's been a while. Some stuff came up. I've been busy. I've been out of town. As you can see, this is not my normal layout or whatever. As I'm recording this video, I'm currently in California visiting my sister and her family. They just had a baby, so I'm a new uncle. First time, you know. So yeah, I've been doing that. So I've been kind of busy. And I just recently got engaged. So yeah, I've been doing stuff. I got stuff going on. Anyways, in this video, I'm just gonna talk about how I had to change my gender marker on my legal documents, and just pronouns and stuff. So right. So first, I'll just kind of go over how I went about changing my gender marker. And just so all of you are aware, this is specifically for, a lot of this will have to do with being in Minnesota, which is where I'm from. So for changing your driver's license, the gender on there, it might be different depending on what state you live in or where you live at, or country and stuff. But yeah. So let's start with driver's license. That was probably the easiest one because here in Minnesota, and also I did not change my name and I'm not planning to. But here in Minnesota, to change your gender marker, all you have to do is just choose one. When you fill out the little application, you just choose male, female, or I think there's an X yeah, I believe it's an X. Yeah. And so if you don't identify with either of those, then you can choose that. But this is editing surprise. So one thing I forgot to mention is I also had to change my gender on my birth certificate, which pretty much to do that, I did have to pay, which I think I want to say it was $120. And I'll include a link down below on how I went about doing that. But I do have that information done already. I already have my new birth certificate. So yeah, I had to also change that. Just wanted you to be aware. All right, bye. Yeah, pretty much. Also, since I wasn't changing my address or anything, literally just that, I did try and do it online, but I filled it out and everything. And then when they sent me my new ID, it still said female. So I was like, okay, well, that was pointless. So then, it was gonna use my same picture. At least here in Minnesota, you could do that. But I was like, you know what, since the gender marker still isn't right, I might as well just make an appointment, go in, and then get it all taken care of. So that's what I ended up doing, but pretty easy process. All I did really, same as when you normally renew your ID, went in there, got my picture taken, and then I just chose male instead of female. But although it was very simple, it really does make a difference because whenever I would go out and I wanted to get a drink, or if I went to the tobacco shop or anything like that, I would have to show my ID, and my ID would show female, and then then I get misgendered, and then they start using she, her, and then I'm what the hell, what's going on? So yeah, I'm glad I got that taken care of. But yeah, that was probably the easiest part. It wasn't super expensive either. It was I think $30 or something to get that done. But yeah, so that was that. Now the next thing is my passport. So I already had a passport. I got it about 2 years ago. Yeah. 2 years ago. This one is a little more complicated because it's not just going through the state, it's a federal document, you know. So with this one, I had to mail in my old passport. I had to get a new picture taken at some passport photo place, and then I also had to have a letter saying that from a medical provider certifying that I am in the process of transitioning from male to female. And if you go on their website, which I'll link that down below, it says specifically what the document or the letter has to say. And if you don't have that, then they won't change it for you. And I think you can still only choose male or female. But like I said, I'll link that down below. But yeah, and that one was a little bit more expensive. It was like, I don't know, like 110, I want to say. 145 actually. Yeah, about $145 to get that done. Which, yeah, I just wanted to make sure, because my therapist had kind of recommended that I get everything taken care of, so then there's no like mix-ups or anything. So yeah, I wanted to get that taken care of, and I think I originally mailed that in like 3 months ago. Yeah, that sounds right. 3 months ago, and I'm still waiting, which granted, since we're still in a pandemic, it's probably going to take longer to process and stuff, but still waiting for that. Haven't got it back yet. There is like a tracker you can use online that kind of tells you where you are in the process, and mine just says it's in process. So maybe I'll see that soon, maybe I won't. I really don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it wasn't too difficult to actually do it. I did, the first time I mailed it in, I think I forgot something. There's like I said, with the letter that you get from your doctor, it has to be like exactly, they have like a little layout thing on their website that says exactly how it should be, or how it should be like written. So I forgot like a little tiny piece of that, which I had it. My doctor already like wrote it. I just forgot to mail that piece in because it was 2 pages, but yeah, other than that, it was fine. I guess I'll see if I get a passport or not, but yeah. So then, the other thing I had to change is my like gender marker with Social Security, which I didn't even think about, but they do keep track of like your gender, I guess, because I'm not really sure why. Again, I'll link it down below, but I was just told that I was something else I had to do. I'm assuming like when I apply for stuff that requires my social, then like if I put male or female, maybe somehow they could like track that back to me and see if I'm lying or something. I don't know, something like that. So that one, honestly, I did like send in the information for that, but then they told me I was missing something, which honestly I'm not super clear what else I'm missing. So I've kind of like paused on that. I think I need to send in either like my driver's license, or I need to send in my passport showing that my new gender on there, which I haven't got my passport yet, like I just said, and I don't want to send in my driver's license because that's my only form of ID then, and you know, then I'll be SOL. So yeah, I kind of paused on that, which hopefully I'll get my passport soon so I can finish the process. But yeah, that one was free to change the gender marker on there. You don't have to pay anything, which is pretty cool. But yeah. And then, so the other stuff that I had to change was, if I keep looking over, it's just because I wrote down like what I'm supposed to be talking about. Because last time, if you saw my last video, I got a little flustered and I didn't know what I was talking about. But yeah, the other thing that I had to change was like insurance. So like my health insurance and my car insurance. For those who don't know, with health insurance, you do have to change it with them because different stuff is covered for men and women. So depending on like what your gender is with your insurance company, your health insurance company, then that helps decide like what they cover and what they don't. And it kind of, I think that's the biggest thing, is it tells you that. But it also helps like when I go to the doctor, they won't change my gender marker inside their system until it's like changed with insurance. Same thing with like any doctor I go to, which they'll still, most of the doctors that I do go to, they're really good about like using my pronouns and stuff. So, I mean, like to me, it's not like a huge deal if it doesn't show it in there. But like if I were to go to a new doctor and they saw that, then it might get a little confusing and then I have to explain myself, and it's just not something I want to do. So yeah. Car insurance, you also have to change it with them. For me, I feel like it was a little bit easier because when I did change it and I got all like the documents and stuff pretty much taken care of, with like my ID, we were in the middle of like changing insurance companies anyways, so it wasn't like I had to call up my current insurance and tell them like this and this and explain myself. We just started brand new, so I guess that's kind of all they had known me as, is a male and not a female, so it was a little bit easier, I think. But yeah. And then the last thing, which I wasn't like, this kind of caught me off guard, and kind of what made me like start getting the ball rolling as far as changing like my marker on everything, is my bank accounts. So I have a 401k set up with Fidelity, and they have this system where like if you call in, they use kind of like a voice recognition kind of thing. And I had called in one day a couple months ago, and I was like, yeah, I just want to, I had some questions that I had, and they're like, okay, just give us 1 second. We're just gotta verify some information here. And then they put me on hold for a long time, and they're like, yeah, I just have to transfer you to like this verification department. And yeah, and I was like, okay, I didn't think anything of it because it's, banking stuff. So I'm assuming they have to be as secure as possible, especially now with all like the scam and fraud and stuff going on. But I was like, okay, cool. So they transfer me over, and then they start asking me like, or they're like, hey, so yeah, your voice is not matching up with what we have on file. So we just need to verify some things to make sure. Yeah. And I was like, oh, before we get into this, I just want to explain to you, like, hey guys, like, that would make sense why my voice doesn't sound the same, because I'm on testosterone and I'm transitioning. So my voice probably doesn't sound the same as it did in the beginning of the year. So yeah, I would like to have access to my funds, or to my account if that is possible. So they still made me like answer a bunch of questions like, where do I work? What's my employer's name? When did I start? When did I, like, just a bunch of stuff. And I understood because, who thinks of this stuff? But eventually they let me into my account. And then they updated in their system saying that I'm man now instead of a woman, or male instead of female. So now going forward, I won't have any of those issues. But yeah, I didn't know I had to do all that. And I never crossed my mind until, yeah, I tried to ask some questions about my account, and they're like, not gonna happen because you're not Sarai, or at least the Sarai that we remember. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, let me see what else. Okay, and the other thing I kind of wanted to talk about is pronouns. So pronouns, where do I even start with that? Pretty much, so when I first came out, like many of you may know, may not know, I first came out as non-binary, and my pronouns at the time were they, them. But because of that, I didn't tell a lot of people. I was still kind of like figuring myself out. So I didn't like ask people really to start using those pronouns for me. I just was like, yeah, if they were to ask, I would say, I prefer just using my name, Sarai. Or if you're really feeling, inclusive, you could use they, them. But yeah, and like, I think the only people I really told was obviously my fiance, and I told my managers at work. And they actually did, well, obviously my fiance is amazing. She did really well at that. And then my job was, they did their best. They really did try, and they did use like a lot. Most of the time they just said Sarai. And like I said at the time, I wasn't really correcting anybody. So if they did still use she, her, then I was like, okay, whatever. Even though it did, kind of not hurt, but made me uncomfortable a little bit. But I was just, figuring stuff out as I went. So, and then when I changed to he, him pronouns, then again, obviously I told my fiance, and then I told my job again. And when I told my managers, I also told like the rest of my coworkers, just so everybody could like be on the same page. Because my biggest thing was really, I don't want to seem, I don't want to make myself stand out more than I already kind of do, which, is understandable. I just don't really like confrontation or like situations, putting myself in situations where like I'm the outsider or things like that, which yeah, some people may disagree on, but whatever. But yeah, so I just kind of told them, and it did take a bit for some people to kind of use my correct pronouns, he, him, which I don't blame them on, because I've been at my job for like over 2 years now, so, and they've only known me as she, her, so it's like, it takes some adjusting, you know, for anybody, even for me. Like in my head, when I refer to myself, it did take me a little bit to kind of switch over for my brain to kind of catch up, because like inside I felt the same way ever, you know, since day one, but to kind of like get my brain to adjust to those different pronouns and things like that, then yeah, it took a little bit. But there was also like sometimes when people would like at work, they just were not catching on. It was taking a long time, and everybody else though was like doing really good at it, but there was always like one or two people, or one or two of my coworkers, and they're like just kind of struggling with it, which I guess I don't really have any advice for that, because at the time I wasn't really comfortable with correcting people, and I didn't really want to say anything. But now, like I moved to a different location for my job, so I have new coworkers, and there was a point where like, since they were new coworkers, they had only known me as Sry, he, him, but eventually when I came out to them, I was like, yeah, I just recently had top surgery, because we were just talking about like, oh, you know, where have you been? I was like, yeah, I had surgery. I didn't know how else to explain it, so I was like, yeah, I had top surgery. And they're like, oh, okay. And then like one of the people there, then they kind of switched back to like she, her, and I was like, wait, what? That doesn't even make any sense. I was only he, him, and then now like I told you that I'm trans basically, and now it's like, oh, you switch back, or not even switch back to, but then you start using she, her, and I'm like, what the heck? But yeah, now when that happened though, I get it. It slips, even for anyone who's not trans, using the wrong pronouns. It slips every once in a while, but after it like happened a couple times, I just told the person, I was like, okay, I told you like something very personal about me, about, you know, being trans. I came out to you, so I need you to use my correct pronouns, because before you were using them fine because you didn't know, and then like now you're like slipping up, but we're gonna put that in check. And yeah, it was fine, because then right away, then that person like started using the correct pronouns again, and it was all cool. But I mean, it's not always like that. Like there's still like a lot of times where I get misgendered, which it's just usually from like family, specifically my father. I don't know what to say about that, but yeah, he does not use he, him pronouns for me, which it's just so weird to me. Like I don't feel like I sound like a woman anymore. I don't look like a woman. So it's just weird for me when someone like still uses she, her pronouns, because it just like doesn't make sense. I'm just like, wait, what? That doesn't even, huh? But it is what it is. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about pronouns. I might make another separate video, something smaller, talking about them specifically. If you have any questions, then just let me know down below in the comments, or DM me on social media, or message me on social media, and I'll answer those then. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I know it's not as exciting, but I just wanted to get a video out because I haven't uploaded in like 2 weeks. Also today we just hit 200 subscribers, so that's freaking awesome. Like so yeah, the other thing I wanted to start doing too real quick is like giving shout outs to small creators or small artists that I know, or even if I don't know them. So I'll also link those down below, their social media. But the first person I wanted to give a shout out to was they're actually my cousin. The name is Kadir, and he does a lot of stuff. Like, he recently started doing like tattoos or tattooing, which they look really good. And then he also does lots of other creative things like dance and singing and just tons of stuff. So I'll link his Insta down below. And then also the other person I wanted to give a shout out to, we'll do one a video. But yeah, so check him out. Lots of cool stuff, especially if you're in the Minneapolis area. Hit him up if you need a tattoo done or something, and maybe he can work something out with you. But yeah, as usual, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, thanks for being just an amazing person all around. You know, you guys mean a lot to me, the people who watch this. So yeah, stay tuned for the next video. I have an idea what it's gonna be about, but so as long as I do that, it's gonna be pretty exciting. Very como se dice, personal. Yeah, but yeah, all right, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.